Hi and welcome back to another video of JPlay. I am Marcus and today should be another rather short one because I'm basically unboxing the third expansion for Orléans, the Plague. It's the official third expansion. Of course, you shouldn't count all the countless mini expansion, all those buildings and whatnot that appeared over time. But yeah, here we go. I got this at basically this year's Essen Spiel. Was one of my first purchases, and I think I got it together with, what was it? The Cathedral of Orléans, and I got Pirates of Maracaibo. Basically, those were my, I think, more or less my very early buys during this year's Essen Spiel. So yeah, let's have a quick look inside the box. As usual, or it's reasonably usual, the game comes basically in two languages. So you see that here, Die Pest in German, or the Plague. The same one here, Die dritte Erweiterung, or the third expansion. The same is true for the rulebook. So we have the English rulebook, and here on the other side, basically, so it's two in one, the German rulebook here as well. And apologies. So let's have a quick look at what we get. So overall, you are more or less replacing a good amount of stuff in this expansion. So I think we are starting, so maybe let's have a quick look at those components, right? I mean, this was the idea. So yeah, one of the things that you are definitely exchanging is this, there's an English side of the board as well, the beneficial deeds board, which is for 2 or 3 players and 4 players down here. And this allows you to do all kind of stuff. First of all, you get, I believe these are citizens in the English version of the rules. So you get this kind of stuff. You can still draw tiles from your bag, for example. You can still gain some knowledge or coins. But I think what you may have seen over here are those plague tokens. And the plague tokens are really literally a plague in this game, because what they do is more or less clogging up your bag, so you will fill up your market board with these plague tokens if you're not able to manage those well. So this is one way basically of getting rid of those, but there's definitely more to that. But before I get ahead of myself, let's have a quick look at all the other components that come with the game. First of all, we get a new set of event tokens, and I believe this was the first expansion which came with new event tokens, and since then I'm never used the basic tokens from the base game at all, because they're so boring, so predictable. So the event tokens from the first expansion, they're really my go-to thing, and this is something I really quite like. They also provided you, let's say, a new deck of these event tokens. You always have basically the outbreak. This will be your first event up here, which is both good and bad. First of all, you are able to get your Plague Doctor. This is kind of a wild card. It's a more powerful version of the monk, basically. So this Plague Doctor can even replace a monk if you need to be, but it also means that you're starting to populate your market or your bag with these plague tokens. I can't quite remember right now if you immediately put them on the market or into your bag, but that's basically the first patient zero kind of event. We are starting to deal with the plague. The final event will be this victory over the plague, and in between you have somewhat of a staged deck of event tiles here. So you have A tiles, you have B tiles, and so on. I think you have 4 for each of those stages. You shuffle them out. You have more than that, but you will always shuffle in 4 of those tokens, similar to the extended version of the event tokens from the first expansion, that is. And yeah, in between there are relatively straightforward, relatively similar events. There are something like here Closing Day, which then more or less rely on components from this expansion here. Speaking about more components, we also have those infirmaries here. This is where the Plague Doctor goes. Again, you will get the Plague Doctor basically at the end of round 1 when the outbreak is going to happen, and this one allows you to either play the monk or again the Plague Doctor onto this space here in order to activate the infirmary, which, as far as I understood, then allows you to do all kinds of stuff. So where are those cards? So here are these cards. So there's also a whole pile of cards. that come with the game. Basically, first of all, there are indulgent cards. I think these are the ones that you see here, and I think I will unwrap this off camera. So here we are. This also comes, I believe, in 2 stages as far, no, 3 stages, A, B, and C, of course. And there's some kind of, let's say, requirements. So here, for example, you have to have your merchant in Locher in order to trigger this. You get some at the start of the game. Again, you can get more cards by sending a monk or the Plague Doctor into your infirmary here. So basically these are some extra things that you can get. Also victory points at the end of the game. So here, for example, you have to spend one of these cloths. But once you have fulfilled the requirements of one of those cards, and you have to actively fulfill those. So let's say you draw this card and you always have spent something, then it doesn't count. You really have to do that basically at that point in time. But when you do fulfill the requirements of these indulgent cards, then you are allowed to remove the Plague tokens from your marketplace, because again, these Plague tokens, they will keep coming. I think, yeah, there's really a whole punch board, more of those, and even more events. Maybe I should show this to you. So they will come to you, they will clog up your bag, and what's worse, your marketplace. So when you have, for example, 5 of these Plague tokens on your marketplace, then they're there, and you can no longer draw more than 5 of your workers basically into your marketplace. That's why you want to get rid of it. There are some other ways how you can temporarily get rid of those, but they will keep coming back. Then there are also 3 more buildings here. We have the back door, which I think also allows you to get indulgent cards. Here we have a medical spring where you have to send a your Plague Doctor and one of those. Not quite sure what this does. The cemetery is basically another spot for your marketplace, but the only thing that you can place here are those Plague tokens here. Speaking about those Plague tokens, because no one I really know is using those original tokens, which is one of the reasons why I got myself the wooden tokens here. And of course they come with this sticker sheet here, and I didn't find time and leisure to put these 2 together. But I'm really looking forward to giving this one a try here. So I will definitely need to do that, because again, for quite a while I'm no longer using these tokens. I believe there were plastic tokens in one version or so, one deluxified version as far as I can tell. I never got this, but honestly I think I'm happy I didn't, because again, DLP keeps on bringing out more expansion stuff, and yeah, then I want to stick to the original, as someone is then willing to reprint the other deluxified stuff. So yeah, that's that. And I think last but not least, it's still not all. So I think it's pretty expensive. It was not cheap, but extensive expansion. We have those play cards here, which are basically start of game kind of, yeah, game conditions. So I think you shuffle them, you bring out, let me lie. Yes, indeed, we reveal 3 of them. I think the majority of those are more or less things that you trigger at the start of the game. There may be some in the deck. I think it's a deck of 15 cards or so. So you definitely always have a good mix and replayability in this scenario. So this is something that you trigger at the start of the game. I mean, it's pretty much speaks for itself. You have to get rid of half of your monk tokens. So basically bitten by rats, for example. Similarly here, you're removing these automaton tokens. You are adding basically 2 more of these plague tokens. I think they go into your bag at the start of the game or so. This is an ongoing effect as far as I know. It seems... what does this one do? I'm now curious. Of course, I could have thought about this. Every time you build a trading station, pay 1 coin. And from what I could tell, all of those are pretty devastating, actually. I think there is nothing good that comes from these cards. They're just here to annoy you, to make your life as miserable as possible. But again, they have 15 cards of those. You shuffle them, you bring out 3 at the start of each game. So I think every time you play this, you will have some kind of a different setup here, which is something I always enjoy in a game. And maybe one last thing I should have shown you are these Plague Doctor. I think I have to also put them on top onto my Plague Doctor meeples here. Can't find them now. Yeah, here they are. And these down here, these came for they were stickers for the Cathedral of Orléans, and I think this was some kind of a bonus when you got it in Essen, because there is a female and a male version of those meeples. That's why, and you already have seen my playthrough of the Cathedral of Orléans, at least I hope you did. So that's something. And here we have a sticker which I'm honestly don't know what this is. I should know, but I can't really think about this right now. But yeah, that's basically what this box has to offer. I do think there is quite a lot of stuff that comes with it. Don't ask me what I paid for it. I really don't know. I could tell you maybe. Maybe I will remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. What I do like is there is no modular approach. So if you want to play with the plague, you have to put in all the components that come with the plague. There are some, I think, buildings that you need to remove as part of setups, but the rules are very specific on what you need to remove here. For example, remove sacristy, gunpowder tower and brasserie, for example, if you have those. So you take the base game, you can add more or less all of the buildings other than the ones that I've just mentioned. For example, you add in the buildings from this expansion, then you are ready to play the plague. So I'm really looking forward to my first session. Maybe I will bring it to my next session on Thursday during our regular game night. Let's see how things go. Of course, everyone still brings their cool latest and greatest stuff from Essen to the table. But yeah, let's see how things go. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed my little walkthrough unboxing here. Yeah, I think again, it's a worthwhile expansion, that's clear. Huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. You guys are truly amazing. Can't tell you how much I appreciate all your support. So if you want to support me, you will find a link to my Patreon. Join me here on YouTube. Click that thanks button, like and subscribe, leave a comment. This also greatly helps. Really appreciate that a lot as well. And yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And until then, bye bye.